working on.
Good morning. So, you are witnessing my first ever Vodcast. My name is Carla Mysko, and I am finishing my Bachelor of Education at the University of Saskatchewan. This podcast will be regarding the benefits of art education. It's March 2nd, and I'm here with Caroline Howarth from the Concordia University College of Alberta. Caroline, good morning.
Good morning.
So I've given you a brief introduction. Perhaps you can tell us what you do at Concordia.
I am currently an assistant professor of drama in the department at Concordia. It's quite a small department, but we do have quite a strong focus on teaching students who are going on into education degrees. So we do quite a lot of theatre for young audiences types of classes. And in my professional work, I am the co-artistic director of a children's theatre company called Concrete Theatre that's based in Edmonton that creates work for students going into schools from kindergarten through to grade 12.
Great. So the benefits of art education is what this particular podcast is about. Now, I have done some reading that art education is receiving less funding consistently. Why do you think that it doesn't receive the value that it's perceived to have?
I think that there's still a perception out there that arts education is in some way those core subjects seem to always leap forward, and also I think courses that have a very direct job relationship to them, that there's some kind of career goal, attainable career goal at the end of that study. But I think what people miss is the fact that arts education brings a lot of other skills to it, that it teaches kids to be creative thinkers, it teaches them to analyze, it gives them a different viewpoint. But I don't.
It appears we're having a little bit of technical difficulty.
Yeah.
Okay, so through Concrete Theatre, you address certain topics that are meant to help children understand different things.
Right.
Can you describe some of the topics that you've tackled?
We've looked at a number of different things. Last season, we did a play called Lig and Biddle that was very much geared to the kind of kindergarten to grade 3 age group that dealt with fitting in, a little bit about bullying, and was really about celebrating that everybody is different. So that's sort of kind of looking at creating safe, strong communities where people support each other. So that was one piece we did. This season, we did also much at bullying and how young people can have strength with working together with their families, with support from their communities, that kind of thing, and that young people do have capacity to overcome difficult things.
Do you think it's easier to reach students using a format of drama to get your message across?
I think so, because it puts students in a different kind of mindset. They're open to the story that they're hearing, they're engaged with the characters, and it allows them to really empathize or kind of walk in the shoes of another character, which gives them, and they're learning a bunch of things because they're being entertained. And then following up with teachers. There was an article recently in the Huffington Post about empathy and how theater is developing characters, developing how you're going to be in the world. So I think that's something that theater can do really, really well. And also, Concrete Theatre does quite a lot of participatory work, which has students actually engage with the actors, and the actors get to a crisis point in a scene, and then and ask the audience for help. And we have done quite a lot of research on a show called Are We There Yet?, which teaches sexuality education in a regular education setting, engage incredibly well with that kind of dynamic. Even if they don't, some of the interviews we did, the students, when they were the first sort of questions about, did you learn something?
I do wonder, I know you have a background with other arts. Can you explain the kind of benefits you've seen with the students you've worked at with Concordia? Has there been a deeper connection between students working in drama productions, for instance, or musical production? Because one thing I've been looking at is that there's a really strong connection to arts education, happiness, well-being, and it's something that just can't be provided by other topic areas. Can you comment on that kind of a connection? Well, it appears that we've lost Caroline on this broadcast. One thing that is clear, there are some ways that students are able to connect with material using particular kinds of arts, such as drama, that just aren't as immediate. They aren't there as obviously with other subjects. Just reading something may not have the same connection as having a live performer work with the material and work with students. One thing I have been interested in, I have done a lot of reading that there are strong connections between arts education and psychology in regards to happiness, in regards to self-efficacy. Arts education is not just there as a means for another student to have a 1-hour break while a student draws a picture or sings a song. It's there because students need to become a whole person. Students need to develop other areas of their personality that aren't given way with other subject areas. Now, that's not to minimize the importance of the math, science, English language arts, physical education, components, also social studies. It's not to minimize that at all. In fact, those other subjects can be enhanced through arts education. There's much research, for instance, that musical education can provide additional support for math studies, that students are able to learn math better as a result of having had musical education. As well with social studies, students are able to pick up concepts, delve into the past using art education. Mathematics is just not going to provide that same support for that particular subject area. So in regards to social studies education and history, it can be looked at through the eyes of physical education, of art education. For instance, when we're studying an artist, what was happening at the time that that piece of work was being created may have a direct impact on the subject matter and how the art was created. It appears that Caroline's been able to rejoin us.
Yes.
Have you heard anything I've had to say?
Only I just heard the very tail end of what you were saying.
Okay. So I'm trying to connect arts education with other subject areas.
Right.
So, for instance, there's been direct connections to art education benefiting social studies.
Right.
Because we can look at the history of things and look at what was created at that time in order to further our understanding of that time period. Did you understand?
Yeah, I think I got a little bit just in terms of how art can how art has impacted history, and is that what you were talking about, and looking at the art of a period as a way of engaging with the that's another way in social studies that art can be used. But I think also thinking, philosophy, mathematics, all kinds of there's all kinds of artistic connections through those things, and different kinds of movements of thought which impacted sciences, impacted arts, impacted political thought. They're all interconnected. So often a good way in can be through looking at the visual art of a period, looking at the music of a period, looking at the writing, the playwriting, what was going on, and can be really exciting and engaging for kids, and to also talk about how art has been really important in changing the way people think about the world. So,
have you had a part in educating any non-arts type students in your field and seen any benefits to doing that?
Yeah, you were asking about non-art students taking
yes.
introductory improvisation class, which has a lot of non-fine arts students in it. It's a required fine arts option, and it is really interesting to see the kinds of things that non-drama students come out of that class with, in terms of building confidence, building an ability to work collaboratively together. They really develop a much more understanding of what goes into creating a piece of theater, because they have to create their own short scenes, and sort of understanding what that's all about, and also finding new ways to tell stories, new ways to kind of connect with who they are and who their peers are. They seem to learn a lot about other people in the class that they wouldn't normally learn in the class. So I think in terms of building community and building understanding between people who maybe come from very different backgrounds, it can be very, very powerful. Now, this is an improvisation class where the students are working collaboratively a lot, but it really does seem to allow them to connect in a different way. And they almost all come out saying that they really have gained some understanding of working in groups and group process, that connected with creativity that they didn't know they had, gained more confidence in terms of getting up and speaking in front of other people.
Yes, I've seen similar things with just teaching the young students that I have at Persephone School of Theatre. I have a few students that have never done anything on stage, and so they have they've been learning as we go, and that's great. There's been a lot of confidence built, and I think that's really why their parents put them in drama.
Yeah,
was a sense of confidence, a sense of being able to speak out where they may have been quiet before. I've seen one particular student come out of his shell in terms of comfort level. He likes everything very orderly. We did an activity where he had to fill in blanks in creating a script. So it became a nonsense script, which he was a little uncomfortable with. But in the end, while performing it, he found himself really enjoying the subject matter. So, yeah, I really do see a benefit to confidence and self-efficacy.
Yeah, and there's a certain level of also taking risks that particularly I think I teach a lot of 18 and 19-year-olds, and they're really frightened of putting themselves out there and taking that risk to go on stage by themselves or even with another person, and it really helps to build their confidence, their self-esteem, and also just their sense that they are someone who has something to say, which I think is really, really an important step in gaining the kind of confidence that you need to go on.
Well, I thank you for joining us. And if I could just wrap it up by asking, what would you think would be the long-term benefits of having done any kind of arts education? So I'm thinking of past school, so after they're done.
I think the big thing is being able to think creatively, being able to empathize with with other people with other perspectives. I think those are the big kind of long-term benefits of arts education, is that, and it's a bit of a cliche, that idea of thinking outside the box, that I think looking at art, analyzing art, creating art puts you in a position where you're doing that, and I think it allows you to kind of learn those skills.
Great. Well, thank you very much for joining me today. This was Caroline Howarth and Carla Mysko, and we were talking about the benefits of art education. Thanks, Caroline.
Okay, bye-bye.
Bye. So the benefits of art education, they are many. And there are long-term benefits as well as short-term benefits. I mean, as a teacher, we do get to see those short-term benefits of student improvement. Sometimes one day can be better than another. But then there's the long-term ones, that shy student that comes into your class that at the end of the year is no longer that shy student. They have a sense of confidence that wasn't there before. And there really are connections to other subject areas, such as music education affecting mathematics, art education affecting how we study social studies and history as a whole. And I firmly believe that the scientific method, our method of discovery and wanting to learn about the world around us, is only enhanced by creativity, because without that, why would you want to search for the answers to anything? You need to have that creative backing to want to know why things are the way they are. So again, in regards to happiness, does it make a person happier to have a broader perspective and to be able to understand a little bit better about the world around them? I would think it does. And I think it makes a person happier just to be more confident that they understand the world around them a little bit better and can communicate with people around them a bit better. So that's all for today. This has been Carla Mysko. This is March 2nd, and we were talking about the benefits of art education. This vodcast was created using Google Hangouts. Some of the quality has been up and down. This has much to do with the internet connection on both ends. So hopefully you've enjoyed viewing this.